Hi, Sandy Phillips here and welcome to the Property Pipeline Pro podcast, a show about online digital marketing, business growth and personal development. This show is designed to give you the solid marketing foundation every property entrepreneur needs to build a strong business from the perspective of online and digital marketing, to feel in control and live a more focused life. I'd like to welcome you to the Property Pipeline Pro podcast number 1. Yes, this is the first podcast of many that will inspire and motivate you to see the marketing of your business in a brand new light. It's great to have you join me here today. I know that marketing can seem quite daunting at times, so I appreciate you being here and promise to make your time with me worthwhile. The podcast not only covers marketing technology, which is of course important, but also marketing mindset and how you can personally develop as a natural marketer over time using some simple principles as you move through your marketing journey. At this point, I'd like to encourage you to grab a pen and a piece of paper to make some notes, as I'll be giving you some actions and takeaways. Also, if you can take a moment to subscribe and follow me on this podcast. And you can do that on the channel of your choice so you don't miss any of these information-packed podcasts. And if you like what you hear, it'd be great if you can give us a 5-star review. That would be most appreciated and help us to reach more people. And that's what this podcast is all about. Helping property investors to get in front of the people they need to. Whether that's motivated sellers, fellow investors, joint venture partners, or property sourcing clients. Growth of your business is based on your connections and also what you can offer others. Marketing is being in the right position with the right offer for the right people at the right time. So in today's podcast, being our first, I wanted to look at a few simple marketing principles that will start you out on the right path. This information is based on my experience over the last 20 years dealing with many property professionals, but also business entrepreneurs from many different types of industries and sectors. So today I want to ask you a simple question. Do people rave about you and your business? Now, RAVE is an acronym I've used in my marketing training for years, and it's a really powerful point of reference to draw upon whenever you do anything in the marketing of your business. RAVE stands for reputation, authority, visibility, and engagement. And I want you to write this down because these 4 aspects of how you build your marketing model are essential. And that's what we're going to do in this podcast, building a marketing model or a system, if you like, brick by brick, so you can take some action every time you listen to the podcast. So today, write down RAVE. That's R-A-V-E. Now the R stands for reputation. You see, people buy into people with a good reputation. They do business with reputable people and organizations. So part of your marketing strategy should be reputation building and reputation management. The A stands for authority, and people listen to people in authority or have authority in a specific field or discipline. The concepts of reputation, authority and marketing are deeply psychological. People are looking for solutions to problems. And when presented with a possible solution, the first thing the brain does is say, can I trust this? So if you have a motivated seller site up online that is offering to buy property at speed, the site visitor will only stay on that site if they feel comfortable, if they feel they can trust the page. At this point, they know nothing of you. They know nothing of your business or even if you're genuine. Now, if they've come to this site with some knowledge of your reputation, they've heard or read about you and how good your business is, the solutions you've offered others just like them, then you've already jumped over that hurdle of mistrust and they'll be on your site to take action. And that is all down to the marketing you would have done previously to them coming onto that site. That's what marketing is all about. Now, if they haven't heard of you, then the look, feel and layout of your website is incredibly important. And I'm going to go through the anatomy of high converting landing pages in an up and coming podcast. So that's why I say follow and subscribe so you don't miss any of this information. But reputation and authority should be thought about and laced through your marketing. Whether that's posts you put up, the ads you release, the landing pages or websites you create, or even the talks that you give. You should always be thinking about how you can demonstrate your good reputation or how reputable you are, and also the authority that you have. If you've been doing this for any amount of time, you should naturally have built up some sort of reputation in the industry. But you just got to think about how you relay that authority to people who are coming onto your site, reading your posts, digesting any of the material, the marketing materials you have. And it's important to understand this because we're going to be coming back to these important aspects of marketing in future podcasts. The next is V, and this is for visibility. Now this seems an obvious one, But you'd be surprised at the amount of people who come to me wanting to market their business and are completely invisible to their target market audience. And I mean, they haven't even tried. That's not unusual. Psychologically, marketing is actually quite a big step. So we need to think about visibility. But what does visibility actually mean? Again, take notes of these points. So number one is target market audience. Now, you obviously want to be visible to your target market audience. Again, I'm going to be going more in depth into identifying and selecting your target market audience in another podcast. But for now, these are the people with a problem that you have a specific solution for. So for instance, someone might have the problem that they need to move very, very quickly because they need to stop house repossession, or they're moving abroad, they may be in debt, they may have inherited a property, probate property, and they just want to get rid of it. They may be in the middle of a divorce, maybe facing redundancy, whatever it is. They've come to the conclusion they need to sell up, and they need to do that fast. You, of course, have the perfect solution to that person's problem. You may be in the position of being a cash buyer and looking for property in their area. So visibility in this respect could be anything from word of mouth in your area. So if you're known in the area for someone who can turn around a property transaction fast, then you may get known. So it's good to talk about these things. Or it could be something like leaflets. Lots of people do leaflets through doors. But it could also be quite sophisticated marketing, like geo-targeted Facebook ads or Google search ads. All these methods of generating motivated seller leads need to go back to somewhere. This is usually a motivated seller website or landing page. This is where you can reinforce your reputation and authority in the sales copy. And it's a great place to have a couple of glowing testimonials. You could also have social media sites such as a Facebook page, Instagram, or even a YouTube channel. And all of these can be showing case studies and happy clients. The clients in this case are people whose house you've purchased fast and solved their problem. So start to think about who your target market audience actually is. Okay, the second one is fellow property investors. This is another target for visibility. Fellow property investors will see you as an authority in your niche, someone who does the business and helps people in difficult situations. These are the people who will also provide visibility through word of mouth. Now, if you go to property network meetings, and if you don't, you should, you'll talk with other investors that will speak with people in your area that are in the position that they need to sell. You have to remember that not all property investors are in a position to buy fast. So encourage them to mention you. You never know where that will lead. Maybe possible joint ventures, a client for property sourcing, maybe someone who wants to get involved in a project that you're doing. You get where I'm going. So again, visibility with your peers is vital. And finally, number 3, influencers. Influencers in the industry. So I'm looking at property speakers, property networking hosts, property training companies, in fact, anyone who can recommend you to others who have a problem you can solve. Now, it's not just motivated sellers. You can also look at the other side of this as an investor, looking for other investors who've got money but no time. You can solve their problems too. They're two distinctively different audiences, but they should be both targets on your radar. Now, the last part of our RAVE acronym is the E, which stands for engagement. This really is a key element of the whole process. Engagement will be important throughout your whole marketing system and throughout all the time that you're actually marketing actively. So let's start with social media engagement. It's a great idea to post the deals you're involved in, show excitement at helping others solve their problems, become the go-to person in your field, your niche or your area, or even your strategy. And when people ask questions or comment on your posts, don't forget to reply. That is the whole concept of social engagement. Get those conversations going and start pushing those conversations into some sort of offline contact, like a telephone call or a virtual call, using something like Zoom. Once you've got people into that position, your engagement has gone to the next level. And this is where you really start getting people actually committing to doing something. So on one hand, that could be selling their property. On the other hand, that could be investing in your business. The next area of engagement is site engagement. So as a property investor, you'll probably have a website that gets deals. That's the motivated seller website. And another that is more property business focused and targeted at investors. Because at some point you're going to run out of cash, you're going to run out of money, and will need to look at growing a list of prospect and active investors. These are people who are looking for deals that you've sourced or people looking for projects to invest in. Whenever the site is, the key to success is the engagement you have with those who send messages through your site. If you've done this properly, you're going to have forms on there so people can actually interact and take some sort of action on your site. Now, this messaging can be helped with marketing automation, which is another subject I'm going to cover in another podcast. But just making sure you fully engage with people on email, SMS, Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp is going to pay dividends. And why? Because most of your competition stinks at this. So if you actually have a plan, a strategy in place to make sure that you do engage with people through your sites, you'll be at one hell of an advantage. So make sure it's part of your marketing mindset, but always look at ways to automate your responses and only personally engage or reply when required. And lastly, let's talk about proactive engagement. Once you get into the habit of the reactive elements I've just mentioned with social media and the engagement through your site, you should start to think about more proactive engagement such as YouTube videos, podcasts, marketing videos, speaking events, etc. Taking a front foot on stimulating engagement through your business and giving people the option to get in contact with you takes a little longer than, say, things like advertising, but builds a stronger and deeper psychological bonding between you and maybe your prospective investor partners, for instance. So think how you can proactively engage with your audience. So let's round off this by just thinking about the concepts of RAVE. So that's reputation, authority, visibility, and engagement. And start to involve all of those elements in anything you do in your business and your business marketing. Also, think of the sort of things that you can do that would build or boost your reputation in your industry and start putting them together. I'm talking about going out and contacting people for a testimonial, for instance, or doing a case study on a recent project. Actually go and put that as an action to do. And when you're thinking about this reputation and authority, think of how that looks to the outside world. I'm not talking about bragging. That's never attractive. I'm talking about creating marketing materials such as PDFs, social posts, copy for your website, and presentations that elevate your reputation and authority, increase your visibility, and stimulates real engagement. So I hope you've enjoyed that episode, and I hope that's helped you today. If so, like and share the podcast with anyone you think would benefit from this information. And I look forward to being with you next time on the Property Pipeline Pro podcast. I'll see you then.